Well, we have all seen these worst case scenarios when something goes wrong with a meth lab. And you may be thinking, I don't live in or near a meth lab, so I'm safe. But a Local 6 investigation has found that you could be risking significant meth exposure for you and your entire family every time you check into a hotel. And what's more, the law allows it. Would you stay in a hotel room that looked like this, with telltale signs of a meth lab in the garbage, on the counters, and all over the floor? What about this room? And what if I told you they're the same room?
You never know what was going on in that hotel room before you got there.
Sergeant Will Gilbert was there during this bust and says hotel rooms make the perfect meth lab.
They go in, they close the doors, nobody's coming in to check on them, nobody notices that they're coming and going.
And we live in the epicenter of the meth problem. Our area led the nation in meth lab busts last year, and hotels are a growing part of that problem. 240 of Kentucky's busts were in multifamily units like apartments or hotels. A big reason for that growing popularity is the more portable one-pot or shake-and-bake method of making meth. An easier way to make the drug if done right, but Sergeant Gilbert also showed us what can happen to a car when things go wrong. In southern Illinois, police busted 6 hotel meth labs in just the past year. During one of those, an officer who responded to a lab at this Marion Econo Lodge was overcome by fumes and hospitalized. Plus, the hotel had to evacuate the entire second floor.
I've been in places that I've tested that are beautiful, and they've tested really bad.
Garland Funkin is a certified meth lab hygienist. We had him test 2 upscale hotel rooms in Paducah where police found meth labs.
What I'm doing now is I'm just basically randomly pick anywhere for my 4 testing points.
As he tests for meth, there's something you should know. In Tennessee and Kentucky, the law requires that licensed professionals clean meth labs in any home to a level of less than 0.1 parts per million before anyone can live there again. So just how much is 0.1 parts per million? It's not very much. Let me use this 50-pound bag of sand. I need tweezers to show you. It's just 9 grains out of a 50-pound bag. But no one knows what long-term exposure to even this much meth will do to a person. And while the Kentucky and Tennessee laws are very strict for homes, they specifically exclude hotels. Meaning if you found this in a hotel room one day, it would be perfectly legal to rent it out to you the next day without anything more than a typical housekeeper cleaning. By the way, Illinois and Missouri have no cleanup requirement at all. And so now the testing is done, the samples are off to the lab, the disturbing results when we come back.
Now, before the break, we showed you 3 really nice local hotel rooms where police found meth labs. We also told you of a little-known loophole in the laws that exempts hotel rooms from the same cleanup requirements as homeowners.
Well, now we have the results of those tests, and we're going to also hear from the man who contaminated one of those rooms and exposed every guest after him to meth, possibly even guests in other rooms. When police arrived at this hotel room, they found ephedrine pills, lithium batteries, meth, and more. Just about all the ingredients you need to start a meth lab. They also found 37-year-old Tracy Scott and 40-year-old Dustin Giller.
I know the chemicals ain't good. I know the chemical compounds ain't good for you. I know the sulfuric smoke ain't good for you. I mean, I know this. It was just I couldn't quit once I got started.
Well, he's quit now. Dustin got 20 years in prison for manufacturing meth. But a Local 6 investigation has found that others are also being punished for his actions, and they don't even know it. We rented and tested the very room at Candlewood Suites where Dustin was busted. We also rented and tested this room at the Residence Inn where police busted a meth lab in 2008.
There are hotels that I would take my family to.
He only considers one of those rooms suitable for his family now. Lab tests show the Residence Inn came back clean, no meth residue. But the Candlewood Suites room came back with meth levels at 0.77 parts per million, almost 8 times the legal limit for a home. What's more, the laws in Kentucky and Tennessee specifically exempt hotels.
It's a risk you take, so I mean, everybody's taking that risk, especially since there's no state laws.
And if you think you're safe by not staying at cheap hotels, well, you're not thinking like a drug dealer.
Because police watch them. They don't watch, $100 a night motel rooms.
That's why Sergeant Gilbert now double checks every hotel room no matter where he stays, no matter what the price.
I'll Google the hotel and try and see if it's had any major press releases.
We went to talk to the management of these two hotels that we tested, and what we found is that although they are located very close to each other, the way they handled the situation was very different. Management at the Residence Inn said they spent thousands of dollars on a contractor replacing almost everything in the room. That's why when we tested, it was meth-free.
And it's just the right thing to do for the safety of the guest and the employees of the hotel.
As for Kennelwood Suites, we sent them our test results, but they had no comment. It's important to note, though, the law doesn't require them to clean up the meth residue.
And the thing about it is if they clean this room with a vacuum cleaner, they transfer it to the next room, to the next room, to the next room.
I personally prefer that it would be law that if a meth lab has been in a hotel, that the hotel be required to make sure it's cleaned up